Good morning everybody and welcome to another of my YouTube videos, and the video for today is I've gone and done something silly. I've gone and bought myself another tractor. So any minute now we're going to go off, we're going to bring the tractor home, we'll have a quick walk around it and you can tell me what you think of it. I'm not sure what I have bought. If I'm honest, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, I've only seen pictures. So it's as much of an unknown to me as it is to you. We're going to have a look at it and we'll see what we think. We'll see what I've gone and spent my hard-earned cash on. Before we go any further though, before we go off and get the tractor, I've got to give you a very quick message, and that is a big thank you. Thank you to all of you, the people who are now watching this, the subscribers, the followers, the people who like stuff, the people who put comments in and all that type of stuff. Thank you very, very, very much indeed. Over last week, we crossed a threshold and now I am officially in the YouTube club. I never thought I'd hear myself say that. I mean, 18 months ago, I was a complete technophobe. I knew nothing about this. And one of the people I've got to thank is a man called Jay. You may well have seen it. You've probably seen him on YouTube, TikTok, and all that type of stuff. Go and find a channel called Machinery Nation, or Find It, Fix It, Farm It. Jay on there, who has been an absolute help to me, getting me on my feet and giving me a kick in the bum to get going with this. So thank you very much indeed. Go and find his channel if you like men's shed type of stuff, so power tools and lawnmowers, leaf blowers, anything with a battery, anything that runs off the electric, all these kind of boy kit things that we have. He reviews them, has a look at them. Go and have a look at him. He is absolutely superb. So thank you, Jay, for all your help. Right then, without turning this into some kind of Oscars-based awards ceremony, we're going to go off now. We're going to go and get that tractor home, hopefully. And when it comes home, we'll have a look around it and you can tell me what you think. Brilliant. As a side note, while we're passing, this winter barley that I sowed, a fortnight ago, is looking brilliant. I am really happy with this. It is out in rows and looking tip-top. It's a shame, though, that the drill man wasn't quite looking where he was going at all times. Never mind. There we are, we've made it home in the new tractor to me, the David Brown 1412. So let's have a proper look at the 1412 and see what I have bought. Obviously, we've got a little bit of damage to the nose cone and generally to the front of the bonnet, which isn't unrepairable, I don't think. It's not beyond the wit of man to repair that. However, it's just not as nice and tidy as you'd want it. We've got a front grille missing. We can see quite a bit of daylight through the radiator there. We've got some fins and stuff missing. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. I certainly want to be working this tractor hard in the middle of summer with the radiator looking like that. The oil cooler at the front isn't really in wonderful condition either, but to be truthful, I've seen much worse. Working round, we have got here a 4-cylinder David Brown turbocharged engine, inline mini-mech pump. There's the turbo return, oil return, and other than being a bit wet with oil, it doesn't start brilliantly, I've got to be honest, but it sounds okay. It doesn't sound perfect, but it sounds okay, and it's driven home, so it can't be that bad. There is a possibility to do a good engine out of it, I think. We've got the David Brown Q cab with these narrow letterbox doors, which was a thing of absolute horror even back in the day. We've got a little bit of a rot, but nothing severe. Again, not beyond the capability of fixing this. It's not rotten through all the way. I've seen them before where these have just disappeared with rot. So, salvageable, I think. Interestingly, we've got 38-inch wheels. I'm used to seeing 16.9 34s on these, but we've got 38s on this. Why that is, I'm not quite sure. Were they standard? Were they options? Were they even available at all? I'm not sure. The centre is genuine 1412, but my question is the rim? I'm not quite sure. Okay, so let's have a quick look around the cab. So what we've got obviously is a steering wheel On the dash, we've got a hazard warning light. We pull that out, it flashes, lets us know we've got a hazard. Indicators, trailer indicator light. We've got engine, water temperature, fuel level. We're meant to have either oil pressure or alternator there, and this is the charge light or the oil pressure, one of the two. I can't just remember what order they go in. Wipers, lights, horn, key to start, speedometer. None of this works, and probably the reason behind that will have some kind of reason. There's your fuses, and they have certainly seen better days, haven't they? There's something gone on there. Down the side here, down the side of the dash, two levers. This is run and stop, and this is hand throttle. Clutch fluid reservoir, brake fluid reservoir, and let me know what you think this is. We've got a tidy, homemade, purpose-made rather, box here, which has been tidily cut out around that, and this is like a primer or a plunger of some sort. Is that windscreen washer? I'm not sure. I've never seen those before. Let me know if you know what that is. Brake pedals. You'll notice on the brake pedals somebody has put extra pieces on the brake to make them easier to get to, I'd guess, to bring them up a little bit closer. The driver of this tractor, was he particularly short? I'm not sure. So was he struggling to get to those? I don't know, but the clutch pedal and the brake pedals work. Here we've got the main gear lever. So as the decal shows us, we've got reverse, medium, low, high. So reverse, 1, 2, 3, 3 ranges. And then being a Hydra Shift tractor, being a 12, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's that there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The power shift of its day, where you just simply pull that back through the power shift. Thankfully, that works perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. I've driven it home and that works absolutely spot on. There's no jumping, there's no knocking itself out of gear, there's no slippage. I'm really happy, I'm really lucky that that is as it should be. So moving on this way, as I say, main gear lever, diff lock pedal. We've got up and down arms, so this is the main hydraulic lever, and the arms on this do work. That does activate it. This is the dump valve, so if you want to lower your arms a bit quicker, or you've got an empty trailer or whatever, you pull on that and the trailer goes down faster. Something that I'm really happy with is we've got two external service levers here, so two spool valves. So if I wanted to go ploughing with this, I've got front footer width and top link or whatever. So I'm really happy that there's two of these, and then the Select-O-Matic control unit at the back there that makes you use this for whatever you want to be using. So we've got depth, height and external, so things like ploughs, anything that goes on the ground, and then external stuff like loaders or tipping trailers, and as well TCU, which was traction control, which was a David Brown thing when you were out ploughing and needed a little bit more grip. So looking at the top of the cab at the front, we've got a travelometer chart, and we've got fan on and off, as well as heat control and a little twee interior light. Again, none of that works. Someone has been digging around in here at some point. I'm going to guess there has been a leak there. So the water from the engine system works its way around up and into there, and that's where you get your warm air blown out towards you, which, to be truthful, even when it was new, was rubbish. The seat at the back here is also past its best, as you would guess. Somebody has very helpfully tied on a piece of sponge on there just to take the worst out of the job. If I was to use this, I would obviously need to sort that out and get that looking something like. It's such a shame, because David Brown cabs of the time were never up there really. Compare this to something like the Ford Bubble cab or the Massey cabs of their time, and even thoroughbred dyed in the wool David Brown people like myself will admit that these weren't really all they should have been. Once you're in, I suppose it's not so bad, considering that we're back in 1970 something here. However, getting in was a little bit of a problem. If you suffered from a similar condition to me, where you can't pass a chip shop, you would struggle to get in through that letterbox of a door there. It was a bit of a nuisance. David Brown people will full well know that when the 90 series came out, it was a massive jump forward compared to what we're used to here. So looking at the back of the tractor, what we see instantly is we've got the heavy duty back end, the 1410, 1412 back end with the big heavy duty castings either side, the bigger ram shaft, the heavy duty drop arms and the heavier link arms. We've also got the big reductions. This is what eventually became the 1690 back end. Interestingly, we haven't got a reversible PTO shaft. I had in my head that all 1412s had a reversible PTO shaft. That has only come with the 540 spline, but it has got 540 and 1000 speeds. You'll notice these arms has got this gadget here. Now that's pretty seized. What that allows you to do is to lift that out and then draw this back, and it would make it easier to hitch on implements. We had these on the 1410. My dad ran a runner weld up there and did away with this, because what would happen is these bloody things would come out in the middle of the job, which is less than ideal. So what we've ended up with is a fairly tired David Brown 1412 tractor. I saw it on an online auction and I put a bid on it, and for the money that it was, I couldn't leave it there and I ended up buying it. What am I going to do with it? In honesty, I don't know. I've got a few options though. The bad news is I could break it up for parts. I could use some of the parts for myself, or sell the parts and get my money back. I could use it as it is, but equally I can't, because the steering needs a bit of work. The engine probably needs going through. Luckily, the Hydrashift is working absolutely perfectly, so that is a big bonus. The arms are also working perfectly. But before I put this into work, I'd need to give it a little bit of a tidy up. It's just a little bit rough for going to customers' places and working with this as it is, I feel. So it'll probably sit in the back of the shed for now, while I'm having a good think about what to do with it. If somebody was to come along and offer me a real healthy profit in it, I would probably sell it. But I've got this half a dream that, having had it restored along with my dad's 1410, they will both look the part and they would be real handy tractors for my business. So when I look at this tractor and say it could be part of my business, you're probably shaking your head thinking I've gone absolutely bonkers. Admittedly, you have got to use a little bit of imagination, but I firmly believe that this could be a real handy tractor. We've got 90 horsepower, 2 spools, the heavier duty back end. So this could be doing cultivation work, it could go on the plough, it could do haymaking. It would be a real handy all-round tractor. This and the 1410, for the kit that I have, are pretty big tractors. They're okay. 3-footer reversible, 4-footer conventional, little baler, mower conditioner, all that type of stuff. I could really see this with the 2-wheel drive and the Hydrashift being a real handy tractor to get to the field and get on with doing some work with it. However, we're not quite there yet, are we? We have got a little bit of a way to go. And let's be honest, it's not going to happen this year. I've got plenty of other projects on the go. I mean, to be fair, a good seeing to with the steam cleaner would set it off a little bit nicer. It would look a far better thing if it had a bloody good wash. However, I'm quietly quite happy with what I've bought. I was worrying that the Hydrashift could be a load of nonsense. That has performed absolutely faultlessly when it's cold and warm. Obviously, just driving it a few miles home isn't a proper test for it, but initial indications are good, aren't they? So, with a bit of luck, we might have a tractor that we can use. So there we are. The tractor has come home in one piece. No damage, no issues, no big problems. We're all home and we're safe. That's a win, isn't it? I'm secretly quite happy with the tractor. I'm not fussed that the engine needs doing, the steering needs doing, a little bit of tin work needs doing on it. The Hydrashift gearbox seems to be, fingers crossed, working brilliantly. So that should be okay. What I'm going to do now is plant it towards the back of this shed, out the way, and it's at the back of quite a long queue that of things to restore, get working again, and all that type of stuff. It is very unlikely I'll be getting on with that towards the winter. We've got plenty of other things to do. Right then, on that happy note, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.